Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing monthly horoscope readings for November 2019, and this is for Pisces. So Pisces, this can apply to sun, moon, or rising sign, as well as Venus, because I'm going to be pulling a couple of love cards at the end of the overall month reading. And if this doesn't resonate with you, then just leave that information here, okay? So this is a general reading. It's for a lot of different people. Not everything is going to apply to everybody. So if it doesn't fit, don't try to make it fit. But if it doesn't resonate right off the bat, then you can always check out your other sign videos, right? So like if this is your sun sign, check out your moon and rising sign, or vice versa, because sometimes your where you resonate will fluctuate depending on what's going on in your chart, although I'm not an astrologer, but I find subjectively that that's what works for me. Sometimes I resonate with my sun sign, which is Pisces, by the way. Sometimes I resonate with my rising sign, which is Gemini. So I always check both just to be sure, or my moon sign. But I find Pisces is usually pretty good for me because I have Pisces in my sun as well as my Venus. So yeah, I got a lot of Pisces energy going on. Okay, Pisces, so let us see what's happening in the month of November. What's going on, my fishies? Current self is the Justice card. Okay. Theme of the month, you have Queen of Wands. The key goal is the Six of Cups. The obstacle this month that is to be overcome is the Ace of Cups. The major accomplishment is the Five of Wands. The thing to be avoided is the Page of Cups. What to embrace? You have the Knight of Swords. Where to find support? You have the Nine of Swords, okay? And the advice and encouragement, you have the King of Wands. Okay, so right off the bat, you've got the King and the Queen of Wands. So these are counterparts here, both in the sign of fire. This could be Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. Or these are just very, fiery, passionate, energetic, very spiritually and like energetically driven individuals. We'll get to that in a minute. So current self energy, Pisces, coming up as the Justice card. So this is really about balance here, being impartial, discerning, making choices and judgment calls from a place of balance. So really putting away your two eyes and exposing your third eye and looking at life and all things within it from that third eye perspective. And I can actually see that third eye right there in the Ace of Cups. So this is not a month to look with what you can see. This is a month to kind of feel it out intuitively through your third eye. So this is more of a psychic month. This is more of an intuitive month. So let's see. The theme of the month is the Queen of Wands. So for November, the theme is really to stand in your passion and stand in your power. So to me, this is really, really about empowerment, taking back your power to be the judge, jury, and judge, jury, and oh shit, what is it? Oh, judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know why I just drew a complete blank on that. So the Queen of Wands, what I'm saying here is that this is very much about you calling the shots. This is you being the leader in your life, because the Wands individuals, especially the King and Queen, are very good at leadership positions. They take their power seriously and they take the responsibility that comes with it. They're not frivolous with it. They're very driven and very aware of what's going on, how to use their energy, how to work with their energy for their greatest benefit as well as the benefit of others. So they are very, very good at being leaders. The key goal this month is the Six of Cups. Yeah, I've been experiencing this a lot myself as a Pisces in the past little while, especially when it comes to this Nine of Swords energy. So these are memories from the past. They could be coming up in the form of dreams or simply in your day-to-day life. So we are in Mercury retrograde for most of November. So this is a time to reassess and look at some of these things from the past that are cropping up and why that is. So try to do that again impartially. Don't look at it from the biased perspective of fear or trauma or self judgment or whatever it is, whatever spin that you've put on the memory. Try to look at it clearly as possible through the lens of your intuition, right? Through the observer lens rather than the subjective experiencer. Try to take that step back so that you can look at these things and find the underlying meaning therein. So, Mercury retrograde, it can bring up people from our past, it can bring up memories from our past, it cycles from our past. It's really a time to just look at all of these different things and find out what's working for us and what's not working for us, why these certain memories are coming up, how they can help us or set us free, because some of the memories that we have are limiting us. Because they're creating or perpetuating programming that is not for our highest good. So, this is stuff from our childhood and stuff from our past lives because anything that is happening, anything negative or traumatic that happened in childhood is always a perpetuation of something that happened in a past life. I mean, not always, okay, but it's fairly common. So, yeah, key goal being about looking at the past and reconnecting with your childhood innocence and your youth. So, let's see how that plays out. The obstacle, though, is the Ace of Cups. So this is something to be overcome. The Ace of Cups is really talking about filling your own cup up first. So as water signs, Pisces, we're very psychic, we're very intuitive, we're very we like to give. We are natural healers. We are healers of ourselves, but we tend to externalize and give away a lot. So this is also about filling your own cup first and doing that self healing, looking at your own waters. Like this is looking into your own cup and seeing what's in there. So that can be an obstacle for us because a lot of the time we are the types, not always. Okay, this is a pretty broad generalization, but in general, Pisces have this ability to be very intuitive, psychic, and emotional. And so they will do that work for other people, but it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to do it for themselves. And as a Pisces, I can attest to this subjectively firsthand. Like, yeah, I struggle with this. I mean, literally do this for work. And though sometimes I get blocked within myself and I'm like, what the heck? Am I doing wrong here? Like I don't see it, or I can't fill up my own cup, or I can't take care of myself, but I'm out here, helping everybody else. So you see where the imbalance is here, Pisces. You see where the imbalance is here. We're trying to balance these scales, but we really got to balance ourselves first. So that is where this balance between the masculine and feminine comes in. We're balancing these two aspects of ourself, and I love how they've got the two feminine and masculine counterparts as children here as well. So this is getting back to our innocence, filling up our cup with flowers, good memories, and a keen insight for what those memories are trying to teach us or what we can take from them. So yeah, so like basically the obstacle here is self-awareness, self-fulfillment, and self-healing. The major accomplishment, though, is the Five of Wands. Now, this is interesting because I always see this card as kind of like a conflict between other people. It's a little bit of a battle, but in the accomplishment position, this could be training. So we could see this as people sparring instead of actually fighting in conflict. They're training, they're practicing, they're honing their skills and their abilities to get better. So this could be a place where we can really excel this month and move forward is in our ability to practice. We're continuing to get better and we've really got to put ourselves in the field to do that. So we have to physically take action in that respect. So when it comes to wands specifically, which relate to creativity, passion, sexuality, as well as the home and industry, these are areas that we need to get a little bit more active in our participation when it comes to practicing and honing our skills. So when it comes to doing the intuitive, deep diving, we're very good at that, but sometimes we may struggle with putting what we've learned intuitively or psychically into action. That's why there's a lot of wands here. It's to help us really put a fire under our butt, essentially, so that we stop procrastinating about what we know that we need or want to do. That, we've got this intuitive information where we've gone into the subconscious, we've extracted all of these wonderful tidbits of knowledge and wisdom, and then we just sit on our butts. It's like, okay, but like you have a gold mine that you're sitting on and you're not doing anything with it. Like, let's light the fire there so that we can actually take action and practice what we preach and get better. And then we get really, really good because we're already so talented and so capable. It's really just about putting it into practice and taking the action steps to physically make that happen. So that's the major accomplishment here this month, and it's a change. It's a 5, so it's a change. We're putting ourselves into unfamiliar territory, which can be uncomfortable, it can be challenging, but at the same time, we are experiencing a transformation within ourselves, and we're allowing ourselves to get better. So the Page of Cups is here in the what to avoid position. So, despite the fact that we are a water sign, we're very comfortable in our emotions, we actually have to kind of avoid falling into those old patterns of emotional response. The Page of Cups can be a little bit of an immature type of emotional energy. And yes, he does bring messages and he can be the messenger, but at the same time, he can be a little bit lethargic, like he doesn't want to do anything. He even seems a little bit pompous and lazy in the picture, just to be honest. So, I mean, this is very much almost like a sense of entitlement. Like you're talented, you're so talented, you're so good at it, and sometimes you take that for granted, and then you don't use it to the fullness of its potential. I know I'm guilty for this for sure. So like no judgment, because fuck, like I've done it too. Excuse my language. But the Page of Cups here is in the avoid position, is avoid falling into those old pitfalls of emotional, either emotional self-neglect or of relying too heavily on the emotional aspects of life and then neglecting the other areas. So, like actually getting out there and doing it and finding the balance, creating the balance. So yeah, I don't think I need to go too much more into that. I think you guys get the idea. So what to embrace this month, we have the Knight of Swords. So embrace, again, taking action. The Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck, and he is very, very action oriented. Like he wants to get it done. He is the one who is chomping at the bit to break out of the starting box. Like he wants to go. So he can, like the downside to that can be that he can be a little bit overzealous and sometimes he'll make mistakes because he's being too rushed in his action. So the warning here is to, make sure that you plan things out, but not too much because that can lead to procrastination. So think it through, but then just do it. Like, just think it through once. If you're thinking about it more than once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 times, then yeah, chances are good you're not going to do it because you've now psyched yourself out. So this Knight of Swords is very much about, like get really clear on what you want and what you want to do, and then do it. And the hawk in the tree there is one of my actual personal totems, the hawk. He is the messenger of the gods. He has this ability to fly high. He has a very keen eye, and so he can see like a lot wider of a perspective and then fly back down to earth and share the messages, right? So that again, if you're Pisces, chances are good that you've got a hawk in one of your totem areas or as a spiritual guide, because this is what we do. We go up into the higher realms, we gather information, and then we come back down. But sometimes the discrepancy comes in as how we apply that information, right? So that's what I was talking about with the Five of Wands on the Page of Cups. So our task is to take action on what it is that we are receiving intuitively or psychically, any information or wisdom that's coming in. So where to find support? We have the Nine of Swords. Now, this isn't necessarily a supportive type of energy, but the Nine of Swords in the support role, especially with that owl there, it's wisdom, okay? So this wisdom may be coming in, and it may be something that we are afraid of, or that we have anxiety about, right? We're gathering all this information, we're doing all of this psychic work, we are very intuitive and connected, very sensitive, very emotionally aware, and this can actually create anxiety. This can, when not in balance, create issues, right? So it's a double-edged sword. We have to take care of ourselves, otherwise we can go into overload. We become overstimulated. It can lead to anxiety, panic attacks, nightmares, um, all sorts of different types of fear-based reactions in the body and in the mind, because we are taking on too much energetic information, emotional stimulation, or psychic information. Okay, so this Nine of Swords in the where to find support position is telling you to take the wisdom and then get rid of the fear, right? So that's where taking action comes in, because if we take the wisdom and then we don't do anything about it, the fear sets in, we procrastinate, and it becomes this whole big cycle of fear, procrastination, etc. So, I mean, this Nine of Swords, it's not like a super friendly card to have in the support position, but the underlying message is clear that we have to take action on it. We cannot let it build up in our minds, because that's when it becomes an issue, and that's when it starts affecting our life. Like, quite literally, this can affect your sleep patterns. You can have issues with falling asleep, nightmares, night terrors, anything that relates to the subconscious mind or your psychic ability to tune into other realms. It can become a burden if it's not embraced as a blessing and acted upon as a blessing. Okay. Let's see here. So the advice and encouragement is the King of Wands again. So this is that Wands energy, very driven, leadership qualities, standing in your power, taking on the responsibility that comes with your power, right? So with great power comes great responsibility. My favorite Spider-Man quote. So we have to be aware of what we're doing with our power and put that into action, because when we do put that into action, we can do great things. We can really, really excel. We can help others. We can help ourselves. We can create the life of abundance, purpose, and fulfillment that we've always wanted. And we just have to do it. We just have to really take the initiative. And that's where these Queen and King of Wands really come in, because they are self-starters. They are entrepreneurs. Excuse me, I burped. They don't have fear around how they're going to do it. They just know that they're going to do it, and they're going to find a way. And if there's blocks there, then they burn them out of the way. They know how to get shit done. So the King and Queen of Wands here, counterparts, this could be, two aspects of yourself, the feminine and masculine aspects of this fiery type of energy, or these could be people supporting you in the role as the theme and the advice and encouragement. These could be a couple or somebody who embodies both of these qualities, but they could be, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries individuals who are supporting you, or these could be somebody that you're in relationship with. So on that note, let's find out some of the relationship stuff. For Pisces, romance angels for November. Okay. So the first one that came out was this one, and it is finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Okay. And we have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. and pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Okay, so for somebody, there's a lot of lack going on here. That's what I'm seeing from these cards, and it applies to the love life as well as to the finances and career, because both of those things are just energy, and they're expressions of energy from what you're putting into it, right? So if you've got a lack of finances, then you're in a lack mentality because of that, and therefore you're attracting love that is not being reciprocated because, again, lack of love, lack of money. And pay attention to the red flags. So this is kind of where that whole self-assessment, self-awareness, self-fulfillment comes in. It's pay attention to the red flags, not because it's to do with cutting people out of your life. Pay attention to the red flags so that you can, cut toxic ties. It's more about pay attention to the red flags, because what's going on around you, and when the red flags go off, it shows you what the trigger is within you, what is creating the attraction of this issue, this toxic individual or situation, right? So anything that is coming from a place of lack, that's a red flag. That's something to be aware of, and that's a caution, right? It's showing you where you're lacking within. Again, that's that Ace of Cups that was underneath here. So you have to fill yourself up first to be able to see that reflected in your love life as well as in your finances. So if you're not fulfilled in your career, then you have to find out why you're not fulfilled within yourself first, and what is going to do that for you. That could be something to really dive deep into. Where are you going to find fulfillment? How can you go about searching for that inner calling? Because the King and Queen of Wands are here. They are all about the calling. They're very much about the passion and the creativity for career, something that they're very good at and that they want to take action steps towards. So you do have this energy there supporting you for the month of November and going forward. There is the possibility that you're not necessarily where you'd like to be with your finances and career and your love life right now. So let's see what's going on a little bit more with that. Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 10s right off the bat. You've got another Page of Cups. So 2 Page of Cups, anytime that happens, it's something to particularly pay attention to, but I want to talk about these first. So the 10 of Wands in reverse is coming out over top of the finances and career. So this is very much a burden that needs to be let go of. This is something that has become so integrated and so absorbed into your psyche, into who you are and what you believe is possible for your life, that now you're creating that cycle based on what you're holding on to. So the financial blocks are actually energetic blocks within you that you've created or that you're holding on to. So this is something inside that needs to come to a close. This is, though, the end of a cycle. So you have the opportunity to start a new cycle fresh in abundance, because you've got the 10 of Pentacles here as well. So 2 10s. It's an ending, the opportunity for a new beginning into abundance. So the financial issues that are a factor here, generational wealth. This could be inheritances. This could be money received. This could be something that's coming to you, money-wise, financially, career-wise. This could be like a career that you are walking the path that was set out for you by those before you. You could be parents or authority figures of some kind, the King and Queen of Wands, perhaps. Who knows? So whatever it is, these finances and career are a burden that you've kind of laid upon yourself to perhaps fulfill a certain set of expectations, or to create a mass, a large amount of wealth for the future generations to come. So if you don't think that's possible, or you're not there yet, then release those burdens, take action forward, follow your passion, and then you will be led into a realm of abundance. And if it's on the other hand, where this is something that you have basically been forced to follow, like your parents wanted you to be a doctor, and so you're a doctor, but it's not fulfilling you, And so, you're not actually, you may make a lot of money, but then you're also finding yourself either always in debt or just breaking even. So that goes to show you right there that it's not an alignment. So if you're doing what you love, you'll never be in lack. And if you do what you're doing out of obligation, you'll always be in lack no matter how much money you make. So when it comes to love, the finances are somehow affecting this relationship. There's this unrequited love here, so there's not enough of a balance. Again, the scales of balance are here between finances and love. And when with the unrequited love and the pay attention to the red flags card, we got the 8 of Cups in reverse. So this could be a breakup of some kind. This could be leaving a situation that was unfulfilling. Again, if this was unrequited love, you weren't getting back what you were putting into it, then that's a good indication that it's time to walk away, or that it's long overdue to walk away. So this is something to think about. If this is something that you're not feeling fulfilled in, then again, this is something to look at. And the Page of Cups again. So the Page of Cups for the second time. So this Page of Cups is an emotional messenger. He is bringing you, with a little fish in there too, like the Pisces. So the Page of Cups, that's kind of us, like this is an aspect of us. So we do definitely have that emotional messenger capability. That's kind of what we do psychically, and we are students and seekers of the emotional realm. We like to dive deep and swim around in the darkest depths because that's just kind of who we are. Sometimes we can use that as a distraction, and again, we will procrastinate because we go into this sort of escapism type of mode. And so if you find yourself, okay, here's another thing. If you find yourself constantly just trying to escape for the sake of escaping and not having to deal with reality or the red flags within you, then that's something to look at. Like if you're leaving relationships because you're not willing to heal yourself, then you're going to continue to get relationships that you want to leave. You're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be fulfilled. There is no the right one out there that's going to hold your interest if you've got issues within yourself that you're not looking at or willing to heal. So it does take emotional maturity, and the Page of Cups does tend to be a little bit of an immature energy, and that's okay. We all have that to some extent. It's not something to be ashamed of. It just is what it is. We were all children at one point. We all had immature tendencies, and sometimes we carry those forward into adulthood as coping mechanisms. And so if you find that in your relationships you are reacting immaturely when you're faced with this confrontation, or you want to run away at the slightest challenge, then that is a red flag to be aware of in yourself. And if in the broader sense there is some kind of unrequited love, like you love somebody and you're chasing them, and they're never reciprocating, again, this is something to look at within yourself. Why are you constantly chasing something that's not being given to you? Why are you stuck in this emotional lack cycle? That is something that may have been learned in childhood. That may have been something that you developed over the course of, your adolescence. Perhaps you were in relationships at that point that you pined over somebody and they never felt the same way, or they never, always the bridesmaid, never the bride type of energy. So this is something to be aware of within yourself. This is not something to run away from. This is something to do some inner self healing. You have to walk towards it. You have to face it. You have to look at it, no matter how ugly and uncomfortable it is, no matter how hard your Page of Cups wants to dig in its heels and plug its ears and la 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 la, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to deal with it, I'm just going to run away, or I'm just going to, jump to the next thing to distract myself. That's not the way to do it. That's not helping anybody here, especially not you. So this is something to really look at this month, especially during Mercury retrograde. You are being given an opportunity here. Mercury going reverse is not something to fear. This is an opportunity. This comes around to help us to revise, to help us to see things we didn't see before so that we can move forward, so that we can level up and make choices out of inspiration and creation rather than lack. That's the overall theme I'm getting from this reading, Pisces. So there you have it. That is your general reading for November 2019. If you want some additional personal information and you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on in your situation, please reach out to me for a reading. All of the information will be in the description box below. Just hit the show more button underneath this video and you'll have a drop-down list of my services and offerings. I've got tarot readings, various different kinds, as well as Reiki healing sessions if you want to go extra deep. So all of the information, pricing, and the contact info is in there. Please reach out to me. If you liked this video, if you resonated, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these monthly horoscope readings. I also do energy updates and little spiritual chit chats and giveaways and stuff like that. So stick around for more if you fancy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and we will see you next month. Bye.